Blog Talk Radio.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you may be listening to us from across the entire globe. Welcome to another episode of The Doctors Are In, here on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. This is Dax Carlisle. I'm a tarot advisor, numerologist, and life coach coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona. And joining me as always on Fridays, my fabulous co-host for The Doctors Are In. She's a certified life coach and spiritual teacher coming to us live from Berkeley, California, Dr. Rose Wilkerson. Let's bring her on. Hey, Rose. Another Friday.
Hey, Dax. Yes, happy Friday. Hey, Dax. Hey, world. How's it going? How are you doing? Yay, it's Friday. It's the end of the week.
I'm excited. Well, it's very special today because it is our 700th episode.
Woo!
I cannot believe that the network has reached that milestone already, 700 episodes. You know, this is actually our fifth network. We've had networks going over the last 11 plus years and done. You know, some of those had thousands of shows on it, thousands, you know. But Psychic Talk Radio, we started just a few years ago. And here we are at 700 episodes. Did you ever think that you'd be on the radio this long and make it to 700 episodes?
I had no thought about that whatsoever. And the thing is that I can't even, what is 700, like, I'm trying to think of years. Like, how long have we been doing this? Is it 3-4 years now? I can't even remember when I signed up. Seems like I've been doing it forever.
I lost track.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we're getting older and older. You know, we're going to be like 70 now doing this.
Oh my goodness, I know. Yeah, I just it's amazing that we've had actual 700 episodes. That's truly amazing, Dax. I have no idea. And kudos to you for being the executive producer and putting all of this up and looking for us. And I remember I was in a Facebook group, spiritual, I think it was like an advertisement group or something like that. And I saw your post, and I sent it to my friend and said, hey, we should do a show. You know, just, I wasn't serious.
Oh.
And she kind of ran with it. That was when we were doing Goddess Guidance. And then, she set up a chat and everything. I was like, wait, this is too fast. I'm not ready. No, but it's good. It's been a wonderful process. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've had a lot of hosts and shows come and go, and we were on 7 days a week for a long time. We're almost all week long, but we don't have a show on Tuesday and Thursday right now. So we're actually looking for hosts that want to start a radio show so we can fill out the schedule here, but we have, the way I look at it is that we got down to our core, really great shows and hosts. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, we did. And, as you said, people will come and go, and there's that's just life. But we've gotten down to our core hosts for now. We are still looking for more people who are dedicated and really are interested in growing, not only their own business, but also the network. And this is a wonderful network to be a part of. People are friendly. Dax, as you guys know, Dax, you probably have heard our previous, or at least one of our previous podcasts, and he's a fantastic person, and he is as he is. Like, there's no difference between Dax on the radio and, Dax when you chat with him and things of that nature. So he's just a wonderful guy to be a part of, and we're very flexible, and, we're here to help you grow. So if you're really interested in becoming a part of the, our Psychic Talk network, we highly encourage you get in contact with Dax Carlisle, and he can tell you all about it, right?
Absolutely.
All about being a
And
host.
yeah, and by the way, I did want to mention that it's our 700th episode, and we're just doing open lines. That's right. You
Yes.
can just call in and chat about whatever's on your mind. Let me give out the phone number, 714-816-4628. That's 714-816-4628. And that number is good for all of our shows all week long, so you can just write that down. We also, another thing you should write down is our chat link, which is our website for the network is psychetalk.net. And you just open a new tab in your browser when you're going to listen to the show. The show's about to come on, let's say, and you just type in psychetalk.net/chat, and you can join us on a chat post on our Facebook page. And you can chat with us there, and you can ask questions, and you can ask for mini-readings and guidance and life coaching right there. And we'll read it on air and read some of the comments and things like that. So come join us now. I'm in there, psychetalk.net/chat. But we'd, of course, much rather chat with you on the phone lines at 714-816-4628. Free tarot mini readings, life coaching, or whatever you want to talk about. It's open lines here on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. And we're going to go to the phone lines. We have a caller waiting. But before that, I did want to mention, for those that are new or just catching this, maybe it caught your eye. You were on Blog Talk or you were on social media and you saw 700th episode, You might be new to the network, so I just wanted to mention some of our shows real quick. Of course, Dr. Rose and I are here on Fridays. Our show's called The Doctors Are In, and we do a lot of life coaching and mini readings. But this is the show where we talk a lot of different things. In fact, we're going to have a medium on in June. We had Coco Klee, who does DNA karma readings. We're going to be talking about sigils. We have all kinds of fun and different things. And then on Saturdays, most Saturdays, it is Mary Brown and I doing Tarot Today Radio. So it's pretty tarot-centric. We might delve a little bit into numerology or something like that, but it's mostly tarot. And it's the official broadcast of our sister organization, the Tarot Guild, which has been around for 17 years now. We're in our 17th year. Let's see, 2004 we started the Tarot Guild. And you can visit us there if you're into tarot and numerology. Go over to thetarotguild.com. And so Tarot Today Radio started way back with our first website in 2010 for the Guild itself, which had already been around for 6 years at that point. And so rather than doing a newsletter, we were like, let's just do a whole radio show and podcast and talk about tarot. Now, the first Saturday of the month, however, which is actually coming up tomorrow, is There's a Rock for That. That's a show that Mary Brown does by herself and talks about crystals and does crystal mini readings. On Mondays, we have Wisdom of the Soul with Janice Fuchs. Janice is a licensed clinical social worker. She's a psychotherapist, and she does, wonderful stuff talking about the wisdom of the soul, universal love and universal wisdom. On Wednesdays, we have Compassionate Light Healing and Guidance, the Compassionate Light Healing and Guidance Hour with Catherine Hahn. And she works with angels and archangels and does mini readings and does guidance live on air. And then the second Sunday and the fourth Sunday of the month, we have the Magic Universe show with host Sharona Rapsik. So those are basically all the shows that are on the network currently. Like we said earlier, we're looking for new innovative shows and hosts to come on. We used to have shows with pet psychics, and we had shows with mediums. That's why I'm excited to have a medium on in June, actually, on this show, because it's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? We're also talking about astrology. Oh, my gosh. Astrology is so cool. And we do have a host.
Oh, yeah.
The host a couple of weeks ago, I had Coco Carlisle on, and so she does Vedic astrology. So she will be coming back to the show every few weeks to do like a karma clinic for us, and she was fantastic 2 weeks ago.
That was great.
Yeah, but if you are into astrology and you can commit some time, once a week to do a show, it is fantastic. That is the, most wonderful thing to do. There's so much that we don't know about in terms of the stars and the constellations, the planets, and how they affect us. And it's really great for people to have that information. So,
We've been wanting to get an astrology show on, maybe with one or even two or three astrologers would be cool, to do a whole show with astrology every week. I mean, it's really big, and none of us currently, our current hosts, we do astrology. And I say that all the time, even when I'm doing a mini reading with a caller, and a particular individual's coming up, and I try to give them the sun sign for the individual and so forth, because there are those correspondences in tarot. But I always preface it by saying, I'm not an astrologer, but it would be great to have some on. Yeah. And I wanted to mention real quick, I quickly looked at the numerology of the day, and it's actually, the day is the second, so obviously 2, relationships, cooperation, partnerships. And so is the date, which I thought was really apropos for, what our network does and our 700th episode and our partnerships that we have going on here with all of our hosts. Before the final reduction on the date, though, Dr. Rose, I got 11, which is the Master Illuminator number. Another great thing to show up here on our 700th episode. God, I can almost not say it.
Ooh.
And then, but the Hierophant shows up as the card of the day, and that's card number 5. 5 is about change, and it's also, the number of the adventure. It's high energy. And when I saw the first thing I saw was the 5, because I'm I was always a numerologist before a tarot reader, and I thought, and normally with that I get, the high energy and the adventurous nature of 5. For some reason, the change popped in my head, and I'm thinking, I wonder if that's portending that going to be some changes on the network. Maybe we will get more shows, and I know you and I have been in discussions about, doing video and things like that, so there's things to look forward to in the coming months with the network. And the Hierophant card itself, that's a card about ritual and routine and structures and academic preparation, the quest for knowledge and wisdom, which is, hey, that's what we do on the network here. Good advice, mercy. I mean, that's another thing we do, Rose. We give out good advice to people. Mercy, kindness, compassion, respect for conformity. That's some of the common things about the Hierophant card. And, that's what we're all about. We're about that compassion and connecting with our callers and trying to help people out. That's what the network is all about. So I thought the Hierophant was a great card of the day. What do you think?
It is, yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
And, speaking of changes, I'll just mention that we have a new segment on this show. The last Friday that we broadcast each month, we're doing, there's a mantra for that. So there you go.
That's right.
There's change already. Yeah.
And we'll have more changes, more wonderful things along the way. I've been thinking about different authors and stuff to invite. Hopefully we'll have a author. I have to get in contact with one on a topic that I'll be talking about angelic sigils and how to transform your life with angelic sigils in June, right?
Yeah.
So
actually, what
hoping.
I'd like to do is let me just throw in that let's take some
Sure.
phone calls, and right after the phone call, I would like you to give us kind of a mini explanation, to kind of grease the wheels, to get people thinking about it. Just a quick. What do you mean by sigils, and how can sigils help us? Briefly, and then we'll go more in depth when we're actually, have those episodes going. We have a part 1 and a part 2 already set up for you. Oh, wow. So if you're just calling in at 714-816-4628, remember to press 1 on your dial pad. What that does is kind of raises your hand. It puts you up into the caller queue for the folks that want to be live on air with us. Otherwise, if you don't push 1, it pushes you down to the bottom of the list. We just assume you're listening to the show, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to dial in and just listen to the show, that's great. Just don't press 1. If you want to be live on air with us, though, we have some callers on here right now that have not raised their hand. So go ahead and push 1 on your dial pad right now if you want to be live on air with Dr. Rose and I. And if you're Skyping in, I see a couple of lines that kind of look like they might be Skyping in. Remember, you go to your Skype app, you open the dial pad, and you press 1 on the dial pad, and it does the same thing as if you're on a regular, telephone, cell phone, what have you. So we're going to take a call right now, and then we'll give some time for people to call into the show, get into the queue, and Dr. Rose will tell us a little bit about sigils, and at the bottom of the hour break, we're going to look at the great shows coming up this week on the network, and we'll take more calls. So let me give out the phone number one more time. Dr. Rose here, 714-816-4628. That's 714-816-4628. Remember to press 1 as soon as you get through. The caller that's playing the longest is area code 828, Dr. Rose. We're going to bring them on. What's your name? Where are you calling from, caller?
Hi, Dad. This is Star Dancer. I'm calling from North Carolina.
Star Dancer?
Yes. How are you?
Awesome. Oh, great. How are you doing?
Yeah.
I feel very honored to have been led to call in today. That's pretty amazing.
Oh,
it is.
wonderful.
It is. We're glad you joined us.
Well, I'm happy to be here. It's funny that you mentioned, pulling the card for the day and the number and everything. I'm in my 6th year, in my 2-year, with my 11 year, which breaks down into 2, and then I'm starting my 1 month, one personal month. So I just thought I'd call and I don't know why, I happened to get on Facebook and saw your post and just felt led to call in and chat. So you evidently have a message for me.
We're glad that you found us then, Star Dancer.
Yeah.
And I love that name. It sounds professional. Do you do readings and such?
I do. We've spoken before, but it's been a very long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a name.
I'm sorry I didn't remember.
That's okay. It's not a name. It's not a hippie name I picked for myself. It's a name I was given in spirit after being led to a Cherokee holy man years ago.
Nice.
So yeah,
Wow.
I do a Native American healing. I speak light language. I do sessions.
Wonderful.
Stuff, yes. Yeah, after 700 episodes and literally thousands, if not tens of thousands of callers, it's hard to remember everybody. I'm still amazed at some of the people I remember, though. I mean, we had a caller that we hadn't heard from in months, and I actually remembered their voice because they had a very distinctive voice,
Oh, very nice.
But yeah. Rose and I have been doing this a long time. We've taken a lot of phone calls, Rose.
And I've called in many times over the years. Yep. You might remember, too, I'm an Air Force veteran, so we connected that way, and we spoke a long time on a show, long time ago. Now you know.
I think I remember that. I think I remember that, actually. Now,
I bet you do.
yeah. That was a long time back, though.
That was years ago. That was probably
I think
4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
5
think
to 6. That was a long time ago.
I think it was on the old network. I don't even think it was on the Psychic Talk network when you called in originally.
Yep,
Oh,
it was on
wow.
the
And
old network. Absolutely.
but it's
Welcome
But
back.
it's really cool on our 700th episode, yeah, Dr. Rose, to welcome back a longtime listener that hasn't been here for a bit, and she made it back.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome, I gotta say. And,
Yeah.
when I look at the cards here, the change is showing up again. You remember we got the Hierophant card 5. I got the 5 of Pentacles, which is also another card of, change. And, this is a lack of faith and perseverance. It's like the tarot message is the universe wants you to refocus and really persevere, have optimism. I did a card of the day post just a day or two ago about optimism. The star card came up, which is very interesting as your star dancer. And talking about, and I talked about, optimism actually fuels abundance and prosperity.
Absolutely.
That along with momentum, you get the momentum going. And that's kind of the message that's coming through. And I've got multiple cards talking about the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. So
Nice.
it's like you're on the precipice of a whole new cycle here.
Oh, wow.
I got the 10 of Wands, the 10 of Swords. Especially the 10 of Swords is, one door closes, another one opens. It's darkest before the dawn, but there in the background, the sun's coming up. The new day is dawning. A whole new cycle is starting for you. It's kind of overkill with the 10 cards in tarot. 10 of Wands is known as the overburdened card. In the 10 of Swords, do you really need to thrust 10 swords in someone's back? I mean, really, one will do. And what I'm getting, the message I'm kind of getting from this is, okay, you're going to start this new cycle, but you need to start it fresh. Everything else is dead and done. It's time to let go of some of the irons that you have in the fire, both from the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. Swords are thoughts and ideas, and you have wonderful thoughts and ideas. You're like me, I think, because I'm that way. I have fantastic ideas,
we're a lot alike.
and I have way too many that I could ever actualize, that I could ever bring to fruition. Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm getting and what I mean by that is I'm getting the 4 of Cups, and in the 4 of Cups, the individual, at least in the Waite Smith version of the card, is looking at the 3 cups in front of him or her, and not really satisfied with that. But there's this 4th cup being offered to the person's right, and they really don't see it yet. So there's like this opportunity coming in, and it's cups, so that's emotions. And then I've got the King of Cups, which is the most emotionally stable. So what I'm getting from this is there's a new opportunity right there. And like I said, you're right at the precipice of, this new cycle. There's this new opportunity, and what it's going to be is it's going to be something where you're going to be much more emotionally satisfied with what you're doing. I feel this has to do with career, maybe having to do with seeing clients.
I'm on the edge of a huge shift. I'm probably going to move, and I mean everything is just going to change. I feel it. I know it. I just don't know where it is, what it's doing, and I'm happy for it. It's just the unknown.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to leave you with this. The King of Cups was my central card, the central focus, the main focus. And what that's telling me is that's the most important thing. So as you move forward, especially if you do a gut check, you know about doing a gut check, right? And checking in with the intuition. Whatever you do, and as you make these changes, Five of Pentacles, advancing forward with these changes, and holding on to the optimism as you push through with this new cycle, the question you should always be asking yourself is this going to lead to me being emotionally satisfied? In other words, it should not be about money. It should not be about, any logistics or anything like that. Just, okay, if I make this decision to go with XYZ in my career, am I going to be fulfilled emotionally? That's the most important thing.
Well,
and then the other
it's
takeaway.
It's not even really a decision, because my mantra is I willingly allow fully that which is best for my highest good to manifest.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
It's just waiting impatiently for that to come into view, because I know that wherever I'm going, it's right here. It is absolutely right here. And I was divinely led to call you, so I'm really curious what that's about.
Exactly. So let me leave you with one other thing besides the, making sure it's emotionally fulfilling for you. That, looking back, going back to the very beginning with the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Wands, is get focused on one idea and run with it. And put everything else on the back burner. You got to get narrow focus on one thing in order to manifest it. And that might be a little bit of what's slowing you down, because you have so many ideas and thoughts and great ideas and things you could do. But what's going to be emotionally satisfying and fulfilling, and that you can really, you're really passionate about, you can really sink your teeth into, make that part of your mantra.
Awesome.
Thanks for calling in, Star Dancer.
Yeah.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for still being around to call in, too. And many more years to come. My blessings.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Blessings to you, Star Dancer. Thanks again for calling, and call us back. Come back to the show. Let us know how.
Let us know what happens with that.
Yeah.
Sure will. Thank you.
All righty. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I don't know, Rose, did you have anything you wanted to throw in there? I didn't hear you saying.
No, I didn't have anything in particular to throw in. I think everything was covered pretty well with what she had. So I'm super excited for her, just to see what manifests for her, because she's ready for it. She just. But I like what you said about focusing on one thing and running with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a universal thing. I mean, it really is. If you think about a lot of our callers, it's a universal theme that runs through our shows. That what often holds people back is not getting focused enough. And I'm guilty of it. I'm one of those people. Yeah, we're all guilty of that.
I around 5 different business ideas, maybe 6. I'm like, what am I doing? And it's hard for me to choose. Yeah. A lot of spiritual people are like that. We have all these wonderful ideas. We can go this way, that way, and it's difficult to choose just one, and run with that. Especially in a world where multiple streams of income are important and, things of that nature. So it can be a little, just difficult to try to focus in on what it is that you want to do. But you can have a main focus, and you can have other satellite things that you do, but that you don't put as much energy into, But it's a challenging way to live life. I don't know about you, Dax. I mean, what do you think in terms of having those multiple interests?
Yeah, I think I know what it is, and whether you're doing a psychic spiritual type business and helping clients like we do, but we're also life coaches and hypnotherapists as well, and it's the same thing with therapists as well, where it's because the people that go into that become a tarot advisor or a life coach or a hypnotherapist or an EFT practitioner, an NLP practitioner, a Reiki practitioner. The type of person we are, the type of people that go into that are people that want to help people. It's that nine energy in numerology. Yeah. And see, the thing is, that business-wise, we are told, and even in my life coaching and hypnosis courses that I've gone through for certification over the years, when they talk about the business aspect, they talk about, narrowing your niche down and getting a specific person in mind that you're going to be serving, and that way you're able to narrow your marketing message and on and on and on, which is great, and that's practical. That will work. However, because of our nature, when we niche down, depending on how you want to pronounce it, we feel like we're leaving out people that we could be helping.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Alrighty, so before we call though, Rose, we're at the bottom of the hour. Do you want to let us know what's coming up on the network at psychictalk.net/upcoming?
But of course. So Saturday, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, this is what we have. There's a Rock for That show with host Mary Brown. And she is her focus for tomorrow's show is the Crystal Oracle Decks. And her crystal guest is Tektites, it looks like. I'm not sure of the...
You got it right. You got it right.
Oh, good. Great. Okay, Tektites. So I've never heard of this crystal before, so this ought to be really interesting. So you want to join Mary Brown tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and she will have free crystal mini readings. So that's ought to be exciting addition to the show, in addition to her Tektites guest. And then on Monday, same time, we have the Wisdom of the Soul show with host Janice Fuchs. On Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, different time, slightly later in the day, we have the Compassionate Light Healing and Guidance Hour with Catherine Hahn. And she will be talking about the power of gratitude and kindness. So that's what's happening on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. She will also have free on-air guidance as well. So you want to make sure you tune in for that show. And then the following Friday, we are back with The Doctors Are In with yours truly and Dr. Dax Carlisle. And we will be talking about the origin of the universe. Okay, so we're going off of the planet, folks, and we're talking about the origin of the universe. We're traveling through space back to the beginning of where it all is. And this is going to be a sacred geometry view. And Dax is running with that topic because I really do not know. There's so much information. Like, I love space, and I love looking at the origins and looking at what even astronomers are talking about the origins and what they're learning and
cosmologists.
And then there's the sacred geometry view as well. So that's right. We were talking about this a couple or so weeks ago. It was really exciting. So this ought to be a very exciting show for next Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. So we hope that you guys will return and learn about the origin of the universe through sacred geometry.
Yeah.
And if
it's
you
actually...
want to find out... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to add on there that we actually get the tarot from sacred geometry and numerology, and I'll briefly explain that on the show. The thing with sacred geometry is it's like a lifetime of study, and to actually boil it down to the sacred geometry view on how the universe and why, which also leads to why the universe came into existence, and ultimately why we are here. It's hard to do that in a quick radio show. So it's going to be a challenge next week to squeeze it all in. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish up there.
No. It's okay. I'm glad that you're talking more about that. And folks, we're not going to have all the answers for you next Friday, but we'll have some of them. Some things for you to ponder and to think about why we are all here and how all of this has come about. So That's going to be a cool show. And for those of you who want to look at, what our schedule is, because I only gave you what's coming up for the next week from this Friday to next Friday, tomorrow, Saturday to next Friday. We have a lineup all the way up until April 30th for each week. And then we also have our June 13th and June 19th scheduled shows as well. So you want to take a look at that at psychictalk.net/upcoming. That's psychictalk.net/upcoming, and you will see the list of all of our shows that are coming up. And that's it. Excuse me.
Awesome sauce. I did want to mention real quickly because, that might be, next Friday might be an intense show. I don't know how many callers we're going to be able to get to, or even if we'll get the calls, And what I wanted to point out is this Saturday, tomorrow, there's a Rock for That. Mary does that show. That's her show. She does the first Saturday of the month. But Mary and I will be on with Tarot Today Radio the following day after next Friday. So Friday, April 9th is the Origin of the Universe. And then Saturday the 10th, we'll be on with an open line, all show long show. So if you're unable to get through on Friday, call in on Saturday. Also, we have a show that Sunday too. April 11th, Sharona is having on special guest James Devine, and he's the creator of the Divine Hand Palmistry method of doing palmistry. So there's another something interesting, that we haven't done in a long time, talking about palmistry, and I'm sure that Sharona will be taking calls as well. So I wanted to point that out, that, if it takes up the whole show talking about the origin of the universe, maybe it won't. Maybe I can squeeze it down, but you got 2 other shows that weekend to call in. I just thought I'd mention that. I did want to mention, and by the way, this is a great time to call in. We've had a few callers drop off of the switchboard. So, if that was a blog talk issue, call us back in. Call back in at 714-816-4628. We do have some callers on the line, but they're just listening. If you want to be live on air with Dr. Rose and I, remember you have to press 1 on your dial pad so that we know that you want to be live on air. I've got 1 doesn't have an area code. It's just showing all numeral 1s. And then I have an area code 843. If either of you folks want to chat with us, go ahead and press 1 on your dial pad. And if you're listening out there, you could be next. If you call in right now, 714-816-4628. We have time to take some more calls before the end of the show here at the top of the hour. So give us a ring, 714-816-4628, but be sure to press 1 on your dial pad so we know you want to be live on air. Oh, and somebody just did that, so we're going to go to that phone line in a minute here. Before we take that call, though, Rose, you want to, we got that, I don't want to say a series of shows. We've got that, part 1 and part 2 coming up where you're going to be talking about sigils. Did you want to, I don't know, kind of give a little overview, nothing too in-depth, just a quick, this is what sigils are and why you should listen to the show.
Yes, absolutely. So this is something I've been looking into. So folks, if you've been listening to our show for a bit, maybe at least a couple of, episodes or shows prior to this one, you may have, or if you've been following us for a long time, actually, you may have noticed that I talk a lot about mantras and chanting, and I've, talked about topics such as archetypes. I can't even pronounce it today. And so I've been in my own spiritual practice really looking at how we can use spiritual practices to transform our lives. And so mantras have been, great for me. But one of the things that I haven't quite gotten to is making more specific changes. Like, there's always, you can always bring in more abundance into your life with a mantra. You can always or just connect with the gods or goddesses. Maybe at times feel at peace or feel like someone is with you, or those different things. Sometimes when you're more focused, if you have more of an intention, you can manifest what you're looking for based upon the mantra and whatnot that you're chanting and how long you're chanting it, what your karma is, and things of that nature. But the reason why I'm drawn to angelic sigils, and I'll talk about that in just a moment, is to look more specifically of, because there are certain things that I've been finding, Dax, in my life that I really need to change, and I'm kind of missing that. Sometimes it's, some people think, oh, you just do whatever action you need to do and that'll change things. To a certain degree it will, but then there's the consistency part. There's the other things that are happening. If I have low energy, if I'm getting sick, if things are happening to my mom who I'm taking care of, or if this happens, that, all these other things kind of come into play and I get sidelined. So one of the things that I've been looking at, doing research on for quite a bit of time, is the use of our angelic sigil. So a sigil is basically a visual representation of an angel. It's kind of like the body of an angel. Just like a mantra contains the sound of a deity, a god or goddess or angelic type being, a sigil is the same thing, but just on the visual level. You see what I'm saying? And there are different kinds of sigils, and it depends upon what ancient books you're looking at and things of that nature. The ones that I look at are typically circular, and they have Hebrew script that are in them. There are like names of other angels, those that help to protect you and things of that nature, as well as the angel itself. There's some angelic script, and I'll be able to take some photos and share, when we have the show, when we talk about the show, when we have the show in June, these two shows, I'll be sure to share that in the chat so you guys can take a look and see what they are. But anyway, what I'm really finding interesting, because I'm looking at a particular author called Tristan Whitespire, I think that's how the last name is pronounced. And the system that he uses is really fascinating, Dax, because he breaks down the angels that he has in his text, the angel sigils, for different areas that you need to change in your life. Not just bring in more money, have a better job or whatnot. Maybe there are some attitude adjustments that need to be made, or certain goals that you're trying to accomplish. He's very, particular with that. Like I think, I'll talk more about it later. I don't want to get all into the entire show here. But one of the fascinating things that he talks about is how you can combine your goals with using angel sigil magic, basically. How do you combine the two? Because he talks about, you could have a big goal. Let's say you want to own a multi-million-dollar company, right? But there's going to be some steps along the way because you're not there yet, obviously. So you have to break down your larger goal into smaller goals. And then he talks about how can you use this sigil magic with angels, how you can use these different angelic beings that he presents to achieve every goal. And so that's really fascinating to me. So it combines a lot of what we, Dax, you and I have talked about over the years with the show, or over the, several episodes that we've had of our show about, goal setting, and how do you add this kind of, the angels to that? How do you work that out? Because I think a lot of times, I would say for me personally, I can't always figure that out. It's not really clear for me to try to combine the two. I know it's possible, but I haven't been able to really see that pattern. But Tristan Whitespire's books, I'm looking at one in particular called The 72 Angels of Power, and he outlines how that is done and how that's possible. So for me, it's a wonderful thing, and I'm practicing on myself and trying to clarify my goals and what they're going to be and how I call in the angels to help with it. I've been having some good success with it, and by June, I'm hoping things will be really locked in. So I'm excited for the month of April and May in my life, and then in June I'll let you know how it's going.
Oh, what I like about that is, in in addition to just talking about the topic and relating information, you're also going to be able by June, hopefully, to share your experience yourself.
Yes.
You know, which is
Yes.
much more valuable as far as I'm concerned. So that's great.
So I'm excited about
Awesome.
it. I think it's going to be a great set of shows in June. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some great shows coming up, folks, and that psychetalk.net/upcoming. I try to keep it at least 2 weeks out. Sometimes it's, going out a month or more of shows listed on there, so you can see ahead of time, what shows you want to listen to and tune in and call into and so forth as well. So let's see if we can squeeze a couple of calls in before the end of the show here. Let's go to our caller that's been waiting the longest. Hello, you're live on air with us on Psyche Talk Radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Melissa, Arizona, and I will be listening to your show, and I will be checking that book out. And congratulations on the 700 show. That's a big accomplishment. You have a lot of fans. And I will be listening, because I do listen to your show. I love that show. So interesting. Very informing. But thank you for taking my call. I have a love relationship question, if that is all right to ask.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. It's in your interest. I want to thank you because I think it's been about 2 months now. No, actually 3 months. And it came out true. I was interested in somebody else, but not totally. And y'all told me something that it occurred. Nothing ever happened. We just talking. I lost interest. And then y'all said something about a new person coming in. And right on. A new person is about to come in, coming in. It's in the stages. Any advice on that? Yeah, thank you very much. It's all true.
Definitely congrats on that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm glad. And you know what? I'm glad that it did not work out for the other person, because there was a lot of negative thinking. I don't want to deal with that. But this one that because we try to be the light worker, it doesn't work. But this one right here is a lot of positive thinking. I've been observing. Can you give me any insights, like when you actually see, like, if we do go on a date, or the next move he makes, does he make these slow moves? He starts with the letter E. E as an elephant. I'll give you 3 letters. E-R-S. Please? I'm pretty nervous.
Is he,
Is
is he one of the, I'm wondering if he's one of the fire signs.
Gosh, good question. Not sure.
Yeah, it would be like Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Yeah, check into that. Check his birth date, because there's a fire sign, the King of Wands, showing up, and it might very well be him. Yep, and it's looking really good. I was asking specifically how this is going to go, and I got a lot of positive yes cards. The 2 of Cups shows up, which is, the beginning of a good friendship or a harmonious relationship. That could be, more than that, that could be romantic as well. A lot of cup cards here, emotions. The timing on this is 3. I'm thinking that something can shake loose, like in the next 3 weeks. That's what I think is going to happen with this.
Okay.
Yeah. And the only thing that I can see that might not be, well, I don't want to say it's, necessarily bad, but the nostalgia card shows up more towards the past. This is a 6 of Cups card. traditionally known as the nostalgia card, you know, and it could be renewed friendships and a gift from an admirer showing up maybe. It could be any of these things. But it's right next to the moon card, which is, if you think about it, you know, it's not the sun where you can make everything out. It's the moonlight casts shadows, and things are not all seen, so to speak, okay? And with these combined, the feeling I'm getting, the first thing that popped in my head was a feeling of maybe being a little too much attached to the past, that you may need to let go of that in order to move forward, if that makes any sense.
True, I'm also on that. Right on. Thank you, Dr. Grossman.
Awesome. So now you're going to have to call us back in a few weeks and let us know what happened with that, because that's when I think it's going to shake out, when things are going to start moving. You know, it could be as soon as a few days from now, but somewhere in between now and 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other advice, Dr. Rose?
All I would say, because I think I heard her say that she was a bit nervous or excited, nervous and excited. I think I can hear some of that in your voice. And that's, you know, having a prospective relationship or love of your life is always an exciting thing. Just make sure that, you know, I'm a big on meditation. You know, just take a few minutes a day just to meditate and breathe and be with yourself and try to, how could I put it, make sure that you get some perspective. I don't feel any bad vibes or anything like that, so I don't want you to worry. But just that sometimes when we're super excited about something, especially people, that sometimes we don't see things too clearly. So you want to do that. And that's the same thing as Zach was saying, going back to, you know, maybe hanging on to the past or seeing this, you know, guy in a particular way from having to do with a past relationship. You want to be able to see and appreciate him for who he is showing himself to be, you know, around you, and not just, oh, he reminds me of this relationship with that person or that or whatnot. You know, try to appreciate the person for who they are. And that also comes from just appreciating you for who you are. So, you know, when you're doing your meditation, 5 or 10 minutes, it doesn't have to be a lot. If you want to do longer, 30 minutes, 3 hours, that's great if you have the time. Mm-hmm. But if you're busy, like most people are, you know, a good 5 to 10 is good. And just kind of breathe through some of that nervous energy and you know, have the mantra of just seeing the person who he really is, you know, and then you'll be able to, in that 2 or 3 weeks time, you'll be able to, you know, see things a bit more clearly.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was getting with those cards. Absolutely. Well, I hope that helps you out. We got to run because I want to try to squeeze in another call, but remember to call us back and let us know what happened. And you know, in a few weeks, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Her voice sounds familiar. Yeah.
Oh yeah, very familiar.
Catch her name, but yeah.
I didn't catch the name either. Yeah, but that's okay. She'll call back in, and you know, I've heard her on some other shows as well. And let's see if we could squeeze in this last call here, though, before the end of the show. It looks like area code 843. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening. This is Eddie in the Carolinas. Can I be heard?
Hey, Eddie.
Hey, Eddie. I remember you called in before, right?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. How's the family doing today?
We're doing pretty good. How about yourself? I think you were working on real estate or something like that.
Yeah, that's going to be my final experience with real estate, definitely. What's I think my intent. But I'm striving to do some home-based business things first to, you know, generate the funds to get that started. Right. So I'm kind of excited, and it's getting more and more excited as days go by, which is real interesting.
Oh, good.
Apparently nothing has really happened yet, but I guess, you know, I'm feeling it. So I just was wondering, how does things look in this, well, I don't want to say near future. Um, I don't even know how to word it. Like, is something really great going to happen, like, in the next 2 weeks, maybe next week? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Now, is this about
And
is this about the real estate
yeah,
business
which
or
is it
something
about?
else? Yeah.
Yeah, business, finances and things of that nature. I also wanted to say I wrote down what you was talking about. I think Rose about the sigils. You said the guy's last name was Whitefire.
White Spire. It's white and then Spire. Tristan. Yeah. White Spire.
Oh, Spire.
Mm-hmm.
But,
It's
okay.
it's the word white and Spire. Spire. That's his last name.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna
Tristan
get that book.
Whitefire. Yeah, yeah. So just to make sure that I'm pulling cards on the right thing here, because I still don't have it. I still don't have it locked in there, Eddie. Are you wanting to look at the next couple of weeks in regards to the
Finance and
home-based business,
yeah. Yes,
or the real estate?
business, home-based business.
Okay, so the home-based business and whether that's going to break through and all that kind of thing, and basically it's setting you up for where you're going to end up with the other business. Okay.
Great.
Let's look at this here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's giving me one of those muddled answers again, Dr. Rose, where it's it's leaning yes, that something can shake out in the next 2 weeks. In fact, the timing card is the Two of Pentacles. It's 2. And it's about, and that's about juggling finances, actually. But the thing is that what I'm getting from that, the vibe is that you're going to be successful at doing that. But it's not going to be like a windfall. It's going to be more like you're going to have to balance things to get to where you want to get to as far as the financial end of this. Yeah. But it's not a strong yes. It's not 4 or 5 yeses. It's 3 yeses out of 5. And whenever I get that kind of an answer from the tarot, I call it a muddled answer where it could really go either way, really. It's leaning yes. There's more to be done on your end. There's things that are, to set this up, and the the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Pentacles shows up. That's the slowest moving of the 4 knights. And this is somebody that's, obviously very practical and methodical and industrious. And the message coming off this card for me in this situation is that you're making slow, steady progress, and you shouldn't be afraid of that. You should stick to that. Don't be in a rush. Make sure that you're methodical, you have a plan as you move forward. And the Hermit card shows up, and that's counsel sought or counsel taken, or giving counsel to people. And he's facing the Knight of Coins and shining his lamp on the Knight of Coins, and then the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Pentacles, is moving towards the Hermit, which is the central focus card. And what I'm getting from that is, again, it's kind of twofold. The Hermit card is one of those cards, like the Hanged Man and a few of the other cards in tarot, about thinking outside the box and especially taking a step back from the whole thing, kind of getting that 35,000-foot bird's eye view, and really analyzing things, and that's why the Knight of Coins is coming in too, because that's, he's patient and methodical and industrious. He's making progress. He takes the sensible course. And so I feel like it's talking about creating the plan, maybe changing some things up the way you're planning it now, and moving slowly with this, and try to think outside the box, as far as the financial end of things. How can I fund what I really want to be doing down the line? Oh, got a loud truck going by here. Does that make any sense, Eddie?
Yeah, it all does, because just like what Rose was saying, as far as the sigil down, these are the things that's been coming to me over the last 3 weeks. I really need to make a definitive plan and strategy. I need to use that eagle that I've been seeing. I think the last time I called in, I spoke on an eagle and a hawk. I think we were talking about birds that particular day.
Yeah, and I mentioned bird's eye view earlier too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, and let me leave you with.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me just finish this up real quick. I just have a couple things. One is in the past, I'm getting the Eight of Swords, and swords are thoughts and ideas. And in the Waite Smith version of the card, there's a woman, and she's bound up, and she's blindfolded, and she can't see where she's going, that kind of thing. But it's the Eight of Swords. 8 is abundance, and so it's talking about how to get to the abundance here. And I just have the feeling that you felt kind of closed in. Restricted action is another aspect of this card. You feel like you're not making the progress that you should be making. But look at the card. She's surrounded by all these swords, all these thoughts and ideas, and you need to get focused, which is where the Hermit and the Knight of Coins comes in. Being methodical, making the plan, taking the bird's eye view, stepping back from the whole thing, and figuring it out and getting really focused instead of having all these thoughts and ideas, which it seems to be a theme today, Dr. Rose, because we had it with other callers. Yep. And the other aspect of this card is that, if you look really closely, she's wrapped up, but it's, she's not tightly bound. So she could kind of wriggle her arms, and those bonds would just the things that are wrapped around her, it would just, drop right off, and she could lift up and pull the blindfold off and see the way out from in between these swords, you see?
You know what that is?
It's hinting at what you should be doing. Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It's my belief system. That's what it is. Just like what you're saying, it demonstrates that the tethers are the things that so-called bind her is more in her mind, because as you were saying that, I don't know if you've seen the movie Eddie Murphy did, The Golden Child.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, you remember the girl who was ancestrally the people who fought against negativity and evil? I forgot her name, Kia, something like that. But anyway, in his dream, when he met, that evil force, he walked in the kitchen and she was tied to, I think, the refrigerator with tissue, and she couldn't get loose.
There you go. It's the same kind of thing.
Right.
And one last part of this is that, remember I said that's in the past, then we've got the Knight of Coins and the Hermit, and then we have the Two of Pentacles in the future. That's when you're going to be able to balance the finances and move forward with the other business. And it is a number 2 card. It could happen as quickly as 2 weeks. It might be 2 months, but I feel like it could happen that fast. But the other card I want to mention is after the Hermit, before this, we get the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords has gotten her back to the past and is looking at and actually gesturing towards the Two of Pentacles, and she has a single sword. So whereas that Eight of Swords has all those thoughts and ideas, has those 8 swords, and is she's bound up, but she's not really. Okay, what it's saying to me here is you go through this process of the Knight of Pentacles, the Hermit card, taking a step back, making the plan. Once you do that and you get really hyper-focused on that one sword, like the Queen of Swords has, that one idea, that one way and plan, then you're going to make the progress. That's what you need to do. That's what's holding you back, and that's also the way out and how to move forward. So there you go. I hope that helped you out. We got to run, Eddie, though, because Dr. Rose has an
Dr. Rose
appointment.
was going to say something, but I wanted to ask her about that.
Go ahead,
72
Rose.
ages of.
Oh, what I was going to say, just, you know, a lot of times when people think about their spiritual practices, that they have to leave out a lot of time for that. So, like, if they have an issue during the day, they may write it down, take a note in their mind, and then they wait until later that day to be able to do something, and a lot of times that doesn't happen, right? So what I was going to encourage you in terms of, you know, your totem animal is, you know, the most powerful thing to do is connection. Rituals, practices are about connecting. Sometimes we need to take a little time to do that, but if you are going throughout your day and you're having issues with whatever you're working on in terms of your home business to support the other business that you're trying to do, if things are not moving quickly enough or things of that nature, just take a minute just to connect with one of your totem animals. And it could be a heartfelt prayer. It could just be a visualization. Do have an intention of, I need to see, like, for example, with the eagle, I need to see the bigger picture here, or what is it that I am not seeing in order to move through this obstacle that's here. If you just take a couple of minutes to do that, that's really powerful, and that's how you invite, because I see animal totems as being archetypes as well. That's how you invite that kind of divine being or that connection into your life. It's just about simple connection. So throughout your day, you're driving, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you start to feel, oh, this is, I'm running into this problem, or my mind is you know, creating this kind of, you know, box for me to be in. I don't want to be in this box. Then simply make a connection. Just take a moment. You know, it could just be even a few seconds. Take a moment and connect with one of your animal totems, and you know, go on with the intention of being released from that. And the more you do that, the more you're going to have more of these kind of magical experiences that people talk about. You're going to take the time. You don't have to note it down and then wait until later that day, which, you know, a lot of busy people don't really have much time later that day because they're, you know, having to take all this time to calm down or watching TV or whatever, or, you know, or they just pass out on the bed. You know, as you're going throughout your day, go ahead and make that connection. You know, and you can even do it before you're doing something. You're going to do a task. It might be, you know, whether you're prepared for it or not, or if there's going to be any trouble. It doesn't always have to be around trouble, but you could just say, hey, I need your help in making this a success. So that's my recommendation. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome.
Well, thanks again, Eddie. Always a pleasure to chat with you.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. You know, I'm always with you guys. If I can, you know, if I'm not running and I forget, I need to set it in my phone. I'm glad I did listen today, not just because of the information that you shared, but, you know, all the information that you shared. You know, I'm saying with everybody, just like when you're talking about the sigils and all of that. That's symbols are very important. I'm starting to notice that.
They are. Yeah. That's wonderful, Eddie. Thank you so much for calling in, and we look forward to hearing from you again and seeing how things are going.
Right.
Yeah.
How things are going there. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. You know, what you said with the sigils and talking about, you know, bringing in the entities and help. And, you know, two things popped in my head. One was, remember, we did that whole show on creating power pendants and using NLP to anchor certain states. Actually,
right.
You know, you can anchor it on your physical body, but you can actually anchor it into an object, something you hang around your neck, and whenever you need that state, you grab that and you go right into that state. Another thing, a simple way, before you get into the more complex sigils, another really simple way to do things is to use numbers. And I tell people this all the time on the show. You know, you draw an 8 for abundance on a piece of paper and you put it in your wallet. And if you're in the tarot, you know, you can take, say, the 8 of Pentacles. I wouldn't use, you know, take a card out of my deck, but I would take a scan of it or a copy, and then I'd laminate it and stick it in my wallet. And I've been carrying around the 8 of Pentacles for years. But you can use the other numbers and the other energy. So you're going into a meeting and you use wisdom. You take out a piece of paper, you draw the number 9, you put it in your pocket, and you go into the meeting, okay? You're trying to manifest change. You take out a piece of paper, you draw a 5 on it. You're trying to connect with spirituality because of a situation you're going into during your day. This is stuff you can do really fast. You pull out maybe you have a little notepad in your pocket with a pen. Draw the number 7 to connect with spirituality. 8. If it's a family situation, something to do with, you know, home and, you know, your nuclear family or even your greater family, you know, you're going to I don't know, a reunion dinner or something like that, and you want to connect, you know, you draw the number 6 and put it in your pocket. If you need to connect with your own personal power and leadership and the ability to public speak, stand on a stage, you know, you're about to go on stage, you pull out a piece of paper, you draw a 1 on it, put it in your pocket. If you need to be more creative, you draw a 3 on it. You need to connect with other people, relationships, draw a 2 on it. So there you go. There's interesting. It's very much like sigil, but it's just shorthand. It's like sigil shorthand. Right. You know, it's something you can do any time of the day. You know, something comes up unexpected, and you need a certain kind of energy and you need to shift your energy. You just pull out that pad of paper and draw the appropriate number on it, and there you go.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. All righty. Nice. Well, we're at the end of the show. 700 episodes. I'm so glad we got to do this on our show. It fell on Friday, and I'm glad you were here, Rose, and we did this.
Yeah.
It was a great show.
Well, congratulations to all of the hosts in the Psychic Talk Network, and, you know, we're really happy that we have been here for 700 episodes, and we will continue to be here. And we have some great new things coming up, so not only topics, but, you know, some new possibilities for where we're going to take the show. Dax and I are going to talk about it and make our arrangements and plans and use our sigils and numbers to make it happen.
And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for There's a Rock for That with Mary Brown. And if you didn't get through today, call her. She's doing crystal mini readings on the show and talking about Tektite. It's going to be a fascinating show tomorrow. So there you go.
Yes, it is.
All righty. We're going to say goodbye to everybody. Bye, Rose.
Bye, Dax. Bye, everybody. Have a blessed week, blessed weekend. We'll see you guys next Friday.
See you next Friday.